Dear students, our today's topic is linking and timing activities within a lesson. So, writing lesson plan, methodology, specify timings of each of these steps. For example, if you teach at school, you should plan your lesson for 40 minutes. If you teach at universities or lyceums, colleges, you should plan your lesson for 80 minutes. Method. Presentation of the items involves preparing class, making sure the concept is absolutely clear to students, giving the model example of the item. That is for presentation. So our method is PPP. So presentation and practice. The teaching item involves active learning activities, dialogue, discussion. So, and the next step is production of the teaching items, role play, games, practicing the item, and assessment. Writing lesson plan, activities, daily life application of the concept, type and nature of activities, individual, group work, that is for interaction pattern. So reading, project, artwork, model making, role play, presentations, charts, maps, practical work, and etc. Role of activities. So source of motivation. Activities are a source of motivation, making learning interesting, decrease the anxiety of learner, concrete based for abstract learning, develop confidence, individually, group work, develop creativity, flexible and friendly environment, provide students an approach towards learning, captures the attention and involves the students in learning situation. How do you choose a topic for your lesson plan, for a lesson? Depending on your teaching context, you may need to cover certain topics, in which case you won't have to think about the topics. If you have free choice, think about what you and your students are interested in. If you don't know your students very well yet, ask them what they would like to talk about in your classes. You could give them a questionnaire or just ask them informally. You could pick 10 or 20 topics you think they may like and hold a class vote to get the top 3 or 4 for the next few months. Which order do you do the tasks in? So first select the tasks you can use with your class. Then think about any extra activities you would like to add. Then think about how they can work together. And start with the easiest tasks and the ones that work on the vocabulary for the topic. What if you run out of time? Don't worry, you may be able to finish the topic in the next class. Keep an eye on the clock, but if an activity is going really well and the students are speaking in English and enjoying the task, let it go on. Be flexible with your timing. Another task later on may not go down so well, so you will be able to cut it shorter. Try to save a few minutes at the end of the class to ask your students to summarize what they did in the lesson. This will force them to recap and revise what they did. As you get more practice at planning lesson, the easier it will become and the happier you will be to adapt your plan as you go along. Spend a bit of time after your classes to reflect on how things went. Look back at your plan and think about how well the activities worked. If they didn't go so well, try to think of reasons why. You can take these reasons into account for the next class. You will most definitely learn from your mistakes, so don't worry if things don't always work out exactly as you planned. Activity. So first you input the new topic and then process activity, and then students in production part the output. So activity, its aim, interaction pattern, minutes, notes. The first activity asks students questions in task 1 about news in media. The aim of this activity, to get students into the topic of news. Interaction pattern. So T means teacher, S as students, teacher to students, because teacher here asks questions. The length of this activity is 10 minutes. Notes, chairs in circle for intro. So the second activity, draw the media advantage and disadvantage chart. Task 2 on board. Ask students for a few examples. So the aim of this activity, set up the next task and support the weaker students. Again, teacher to student for interaction pattern. The length of this activity is 5 minutes. Remember to ask students who normally don't offer ideas. So this is also one template for lesson planning. And now let's do an activity. This is jumbled lesson plan. So your task will be to put the steps in the right order. A, in large, clear letters, listeners write captions for the photos. Listeners write about themselves. My name is Tomek, I love skating, and about famous people. Her name is Madonna, she's American, for 10 minutes. Discuss completed projects with listeners. Give feedback on posters, appearance, and use of English language. This is for 5 minutes. So listeners make poster, discuss their plan for the design, reminds them to stick to English. Groups then stick on photos, captions, and title decorations. The minutes are given here. D1, introduce listeners to project, explain purpose, draw picture of poster on board. E, materials, so resources, yes. And other aids, mosaic, one course book, photo of each learner brought by listeners, pictures of famous people, a few sheets of large paper for posters, scissors, glue, and colored pens. F, put posters on wall. So read other groups' posters. Listeners show other members of the group the captions they have written. Group corrects each other's English. Listeners get out photos of themselves and the pictures of famous people. Listeners break into groups of 5. Aims. So let's begin putting the steps of the lesson in the right order. So let's begin from I. First of all, we should set aim for our lesson. In order to write our lesson plans, first of all, the aims to produce a poster on which every learner has a photo of him, herself, with a caption and a picture of famous person with captions. To revise present tense, possessive adjectives, contractions, I'm, his, she's, and names of countries and nationalities. These are the aims of the lesson, and this will go first. The second one, age, yes. Listeners get out photos of themselves and the pictures of famous people. They break into groups of 5, 10 pictures per poster. The length of this activity is 2 minutes. So, and then, so here after aims, let's put materials. First, let's put materials, resources, aids for lesson. So aims, materials, and then the next one is age. So the next one is, let's move to D, introduce listeners to project, explain purpose, draw picture of poster on board. So I, E, materials, D, so, and then A in large clear letters. Listeners write captions for photos. So my name is Tomek, and so on. A, and then G, show other members of the group captions. The length of this activity is from 5 to 10 minutes. And the next one is C, make posters, discuss the plan for the design, remind them to stick to English, groups and stick on photos, captions, add title, decorations. Again, the length is from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And then F, put posters on wall, read other groups' posters for 5 minutes. And the last one is B, for production part, discuss completed projects with students, give feedback on posters, appearance, and use of English language. And this is our first jumbled lesson plan. The next one. Again, we should put the steps of the lesson in the right order. So reading activity, true, false, pairs. Do exercise, guessing, vocabulary. So the next one, discussion, elicit, suggest a recent trend. So the next one, assign homework. So as you guessed, homework will be at the end. Give, ask for answers to true, false. Collect answers to reading structure exercise. In pairs, students do exercise understanding reading structure, identifying topic sentence of each paragraph from article. The next one, look at pictures related to fads and trends in the US. Students discuss pictures in pairs, predict topics, article will mention. The next, introduce topic of new unit. So let's begin from this one. first you introduce topic and then give or ask for answers to true, false, clarify any problems. No, that's not right. So after introducing the topic, so look at pictures related to fads and trends in the US. Students discuss pictures in pairs, predict topics. Article will mention. So after introduction is prediction. Then J. After prediction, teacher collects ideas about students' predictions on board. So J. And then A, reading activity. So after collecting predictions, they begin reading activity, true, false. They decide if statement about true or false here in the text. Then now after giving answers, give or ask for answers, true, false, clarify any problems. So E and then G in pairs. Students do exercise understanding reading structure, identifying topic sentence of each paragraph from article. Then F, collect answers to reading structure exercise. Then B, in pairs, students do exercise. This is for practice part, guessing vocabulary. Listeners guess the meaning of the given vocabulary, lifestyle, in fashion, out of date, influence, length. From context, looking at example sentences from passage. So after B, let's move to C, give, ask for answers. No, C. Groups. Now students work in groups. The discussion elicits, suggests a recent trend, mobile telephones, computers, a recent fashion in groups. So, and then the last one is D, assign homework. Assigning, giving homework will be the last step of our lesson plan, building vocabulary and study skills, facts and trends. So in this way, the teachers should plan their lessons. There are a lot of templates, but the teachers should be sure that they have the clear aim, the clear topic, and appropriate activities and appropriate approach to the lesson. Thank you for your attention. That's all for today. Goodbye.